Cover your eyes, boys. Boom. Boom. Dude, look how many that is. Yo guys, welcome to the video. This is Josh or Milky, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about devoted modifiers, Allflames, and how you can get massive currency explosions like you're seeing on the screen, or Scarab explosions. So today I've been farming this a lot. I've been burning through maps, trying to find the good devoted modifiers, and then use Allflames to scale up the rewards. Some of the ones that you've just seen, maybe the Divine one or the Scarab one, are because of a mod like this. It says that the strongest monster in the pack gets an effect. This one says 800% increased rarity. There are some that say a chance to exchange jewelry for a Divine Orb. So if a mob would drop jewelry, it has a chance to instead drop a Divine Orb. That's why you've seen me dropping 10 there in that clip. A big part of this is the Atlas, and I'll show that in a second, but also the Allflame. So now there's this Allflame Ember of Meatsacks, and you can see that the pack size of this is 1. It's a monster that has greatly increased life, but it is a pack size of 1, and it seems to have some bonuses to quantity and or rarity. And so what you're going to do is when you get one of the strong modifiers that has the strongest monster in pack gets this bonus, well, you just make the pack your Meatsack. This is all very weird to say, I know, but you make the pack Meatsacks because then that mob is guaranteed to get this effect, and you get all the bonuses of it being one of the Meatsacks. Now, there are other mods as well. I'll show you. I'll try and run through some maps here and open some to show you the other modifiers that you want to use things on. So we have things like here, 2% chance to drop an additional Jeweler's Orb. Now, obviously, you don't want to run this. You don't care about those Jeweler's Orbs, but you can get this where it says Divines. You can get it where it says Exalted Orbs. And in that case, you're going to want to use Frogs. So you have Frogs, and these have a much higher pack size than other mobs. You can also use Rats. Those are just as good. I don't know if I have any on me. Yeah, Rats are just as good. You can see here 15 to 19 Rats. You can definitely use them too, and it's very, very recommended to do so in a map where you get the Divine Orb one. So that's what you're going to want to do, and also pay attention to the ordering. So it typically goes from the most common mob you're going to see in the map to the lowest. So put the best ones on the top if possible, unless it says like that it reduces the effect in any way. You want to put it on the most common mob type with the highest pack size, and then you're going to see those massive explosions. So now let's talk about the Atlas that I was using. It was one that synergized perfectly, in my opinion, with the League mechanic, with this fishing strategy. You can see fishing is what it's called. And what we're going to do is scale, obviously, the effect of the Necropolis modifiers themselves. Down here, you can get 10% effect, 10% effect. You can get more chance for the Lantern devoted modifiers, which are the yellow ones that you're fishing for. And then at the top here is a very important node. It says that haunted pack leaders in your maps have 50% increased chance to be rare. So this can give you a better chance of the devoted Meatsacks being rare. And that's how they get so much more loot. When they're rare, they get massive bonuses to their quant rarity. They drop more items, more chances for conversions, more chances for Scarabs. That's exactly why you want that. Now, on top of that, I've added in Tormented Spirits so that the rares get even stronger. This says that up to 5 rare monsters in each of your maps are possessed and their minions are touched. So you can use this to make sure they're even stronger. You can see some of the ones that I killed in the clips are ghosted. And then this here to get 30% more quantity of items dropped by possessed monsters. So you can see what we're doing here. We're scaling this all the way up. We even add on a 100% chance to get Delirium, where the Delirium doesn't end, because that way we get the bonuses of Delirium on quant and rarity. And then I've added in some Scarab stuff, as well as all the effect of modifiers. So I was running these maps rare. I was putting them in over and over again to fish for the good mods. And this will scale, obviously, the map quant, rarity, and pack size. So very, very good. I've taken all of those nodes and then a wheel in the middle. And the final point is at the bottom here. I'm going to make another video on this today. Strong boxes. Strong boxes have very strong interactions with the League mechanic. I'm going to go into further detail in my later video with a strong box strategy that I've been making, but definitely something you want to include if you're using Allflames. So that's the Atlas tree. Now, in terms of the maps, in terms of the mods you want to get, let's open up a notepad document where you would want to use these. So the Allflame of Meatsacks you would want to use on the strongest, when the mod is that the strongest monster gains a chance to convert jewelry to Divine Orbs, or a chance to convert items with rarity to Scarabs. That's when you're going to use Meatsacks. Now, these are going up in price. I've been doing this all day on stream. People have been coming in. Everyone's doing this. This is like the hot new thing. So if you want to do this, do realize these are going to be expensive. Also, maps are expensive. So if you want to do it like the D-Gen way, where you just spam open maps, well, it's going to be a bit more difficult. Now, bear in mind, you don't have to do this the degen way. This is applicable if you're just farming normally and you have the nodes allocated, because you could just have a Meatsacks ready to throw on if you get one of these good mobs. So if anything, make sure you've got one of each of these in your Necropolis locker at all times in case you get some of these mobs. So Abyss Allflame, I've been finding this to be the best one to use. It's not as good as the Meatsacks, but it's pretty good for getting the conversions, and I've been using that for maps and divination cards. There is an argument to putting maps in this tier based on how, you know, expensive maps are right now. But I was almost, for a little bit, self-sustaining maps whilst burning through 50 at a time in between good mobs. You get so many maps in your maps. Now, rats and frogs use when you get the chance to drop an additional Divine or Exalt, and you're going to drop tons. You can see there was a map where I dropped 10. There was also a map where I dropped 2, so obviously results may vary based on your map and how fortunate you are. This goes all the way up to like 3%. And you're going to drop tons because the packs of mobs have like 50 rats in them. So 3% chance over 50 mobs is a good chance to get yourself a Divine Orb. It's all about how many of those packs you see. So yeah, that was it. We can go through and I can show you kind of the gameplay loop, if you want to call it that. It's not much of a loop. You just sit here and spam open maps. You can do it with yellow maps. You can do it with red maps. It really does not matter. What matters is the devoted mods. Now, in yellow maps, you do get less modifiers in general. You can see that not all the mobs in the map have a negative or positive modifier. That's because we're in a lower tier map. If this were a red map, every mob would have a mod. So let's keep going through, see if we get something. If not, it is what it is. I mean, I've gone through so many maps today. Another thing is, of course, the Nameless Seer. Now, the Nameless Seer is one that can appear, and we'll talk about him. If you see the Nameless Seer, one thing I would say is put him on a mob that is easy to see, and also put him on a mob that is near the bottom. The reason for that is these are the lowest frequency mobs in the map, so you're going to have to kill less of these in order to kill them all, so then you'll spawn the Nameless Seer faster. And if you pick a mob that's easy to see, then it'll be obviously easy to see when the Nameless Seer spawns. So you will get a lot of currency from finding the Nameless Seer as well. Some of the uniques that I found, for example, today would be the Fourth Vow, a Covenant, 2 Mangates, and a Zeri's Foible, tons of other stuff that I've sold as well. There's a lot going on with this strat. You get a lot of things, but obviously the gameplay is quite, well, it's not not the most exciting unless you're in the map actually doing it. The between maps part is pretty boring, and this is why maps are going to be very expensive. There are people that have absolutely been doing this since league start. Someone on day 2 bought all my maps off of me, and I was none the wiser. I did figure out afterwards, you know, when I was thinking about why the hell was he wanting to buy maps, and I started doing maps myself, and I was like, wait, couldn't you just spam open maps to fish for the good ones? Yeah, you absolutely can. I'm not breaking new ground here. I think most people thought of this. I'm not trying to claim to be any savant with this. But yeah, that will be the video for today. I hope if you try this, you have good luck. It is a high variance strategy. You could get unlucky. You could go 1,000 maps without seeing anything. You could also go 10 maps with seeing 10 seers. It's that way. It's a gamble. I hope you have a good time, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.